morning, everyone. We're here today during homeroom to talk about safety drills and the run, hide, fight process that we have adopted here in Cedar Rapids when it comes to tragic events where there might be an active shooter involved. Charity here.
Good morning.
Our SRO, and of course she is an expert in all of this, so we're going to let her talk most of this video that we're going to talk to you about. But Charity, why do we do safety drills? What's the purpose in doing all of this?
The purpose is to make sure that everybody knows, whether you're in Kennedy or outside of Kennedy, how to stay safe in case a threat were to come to the place where you're at.
Yeah. So the district is adopting some changes this year to how we do things. We will be engaging in more than just lockdown drills this school year. Though tomorrow we will be doing a lockdown drill like we've always done. In your sixth period class, we'll do a quick lockdown drill, practice that hide concept. So we talked about run, hide, fight, and we're going to watch a video from the Department of Homeland Security following this video. But we'll talk just briefly about what that involves. So what do we do when we talk about run?
The first thing is I want everybody, if a threat were to come in the building, is to run. I know that we keep practicing lockdown, and we're slowly changing with the district so that we can get in the mindset of I want you to run. All of you are young adults, and I want you to get out of the building if a threat is here. And also have a plan. Once you get out of the building safely, everybody can't run out to their cars into the south lot or the north lot. You need to find a place to run to, whether that means down to Centerpoint and 42nd to the Wendy's, or if that means to the fire department or a church or maybe a friend's house in the neighborhood. But the main thing is I want you to get out of the building. Don't worry about your book bag. Don't worry about your phone if it's not in your hand. You're the number one thing, and so we want you to get out of the building.
So go as far away as you can, and we will find out where you are later, but don't go back to your car. Don't try to get your stuff. That's important. When we talk about hide, we want to make sure we have a couple of things down. One, hide means just that, be invisible. You need to be away from windows. You need to be away from spaces where somebody could see you. Your teachers will help you with that in your classroom or in the classroom that you're in, but sometimes you may not be in a classroom. You might be at the mall. You need to find places that you can go where you can't be seen. Most security experts recommend getting as low to the ground as possible and staying there until you are sure that you can run away and that you're safe to run away. So staying in that hide situation is tough because you need to be quiet. You need to silence your cell phones, and those are things that are hard to do when you're really in a big panic. But you can save your life and other people's lives if you can stay silent, stay low to the ground, and remain as invisible as possible. And that's really important. When the situation calls for it and you can't run, that's the next best option. The third step is fight. And what do we talk about when we talk about fight?
Fight is when you have basically done what Mr. Klein said, you've hidden, and now the threat is coming towards you and you have no other option. This is always going to be the very last option to save life. And so what we know about people, especially active shooters, is that they are in tunnel vision, and that means they only see what's directly in front of them. There's all kinds of things in classrooms that you can use to distract someone who's coming in to hurt other people. A stapler, a book bag, books, a desk, a chair. There's all kinds of things. So when you go into a classroom, or like Jason said, maybe the mall, what could you maybe use to distract, to throw at an active shooter? And studies have shown when you throw something at them that there are half a dozen people that can run right by that person and they don't even realize it. So if you have to do, very last resort is to fight, and just by sheer numbers we've seen that throughout the country where 2, 3, 4, 5 people come after somebody, it completely distracts them and they're not firing off any rounds.
Good. So that again is a last resort kind of situation. We don't want that to come to that. The best option is to run, but if you can't and you're kind of pinned into a corner, hiding and fighting are what you have to do. More importantly, I think, though, than all of this is there's ways that we can prevent these things from happening. And one of those things is to report things that we know about. What do we know about that aspect of things?
What we know is throughout the country, school shootings that have occurred, there's someone who knew about it. Usually it's a student, especially if the student turns out, another student turns out to be the shooter. So what we want you to do is if you see something, say something. Last year, our students at Kennedy High School did an amazing job at reporting things that were posted online or maybe someone that had said something in class that made them feel uncomfortable. Now, just because you report something maybe that somebody said in class that made you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean that that student is in trouble. It just means that maybe we need to look into why they're saying that, have a conversation about why that's not healthy to say that in public anymore, and we follow through just to make sure we keep Kennedy safe. So don't be afraid to say something to myself or to one of the administrators. We also have a cyber tip line that's on my office door that you can text a tip to that remains anonymous if you choose to do that as well. But we really need you to say something if you see something.
It's important. There's no statistics on the number of shootings, both in schools and outside of schools, that have been prevented because of people reporting information, but I can tell you that there's numbers of instances that I know of from other principals where they believe very strongly that their school was saved because somebody reported something ahead of time and the police were able to intervene before something could have happened. That's really important too, and I think it's sometimes we overlook the preventative side of this and how much of an important role students can play in that, because we, the adults, don't necessarily see these things on Snapchat or Twitter or other social media, and we're certainly not listening in on conversations, but you guys are more likely to hear and see those types of things. And so anything you report, we treat as anonymous. We don't give your name up. We investigate it. We involve the police immediately. Very frequently they will go to people's houses. They will talk to parents. They may even have the parents allow them to search the rooms, make sure that we're safe. And that's really, really important stuff. And we want to make sure that we can be as safe as possible. So that, to me, is the most important part of this whole video message, is if you hear or see anything that makes you a little bit worried, we will investigate it. And we won't involve you in any other way. You've just started maybe a ball rolling and getting us going on that. So we're going to watch the Department of Homeland Security video today, and following that, your teacher is going to talk to you a little bit about our procedures here in the building. They're going to talk about how to get out of their room. In every class today, your teacher should be talking about how to get out of their room, where are the best evacuation routes from that classroom, where's the best places to hide in that classroom. As well, we very much like your feedback and thoughts and ideas, and so your homeroom teacher is going to have a form they can fill out online and take that information down that you shared today during homeroom, and we will continue to process that on our safety team. Really appreciate you taking this seriously, and thank you very much for your time this morning.
Have a great day.